Hey, you guys. So I want to talk about Zohran Mamdani, who is the man who just, I believe, won the mayoral primary uh, this year, which is helping to determine who's going to be the mayor of the city after uh, Eric, whatever his name is, the current mayor, the black man who was pardoned from this alleged sex crimes that he committed uh, by the president. I remember hearing a story about this person claiming, who was Indian and among other things, claiming black, basically, claiming blackness on his college application. And there was some talk about it being to obfuscate from his bad scores, SAT scores, and what have you. And I didn't realize that this was the guy who ended up winning the primary for the, mayoral race in New York. New York. So we've got a man who is supposed to replace the current black man, whatever you think of him, who is a person who was able to get into school and get his education and the qualifications that have gotten him here by claiming that he's black. People are trying to point out the nuances because he was born in Uganda, which is in Africa. So him claiming Black American or African American would, in their opinion, technically be factual when it's not, because Black people who come from Europe are not able to claim Caucasian or white, despite coming from a white nation. Now, a part of that is because we don't have something that usually it's not written in as European American. You know what I'm saying? But that just shows, honestly, a lot of the racism, racial connotations behind, that are instilled into this whole setup. Because why is it that um, the entirety of Africa is grouped together as if all of those people are one people, but Europe doesn't have the same classification? It's also ridiculous because we understand why Black people and African American people and foundational Black Americans are distinguished. We understand why the delineation exists because there are less opportunities for Black people. There are more negative detriments facing Black people in this country and really all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Black people have less ability to get into these prestigious schools. Yet we've got even less ability now because not only are they getting Black people from outside of the country, but they're getting people who are not even Black, who are able to mark down that they're Black. So this is another conversation that makes it clear why foundational Black Americans need to delineate and why everyone needs to delineate. Everybody needs to. Even Africans are being fucked over by this setup because you got a man who looks like this, able to say that he's Black and take all of the scholarships, all of the benefits, all of the whatever that are available to you. And he knew what he was doing when he did that in 2009. He knew that he was putting himself in a position to take from Black people. He knows he doesn't claim Blackness. The Times of India get into the man apparently scored below the median score, well below it, for the SAT. So he claimed Asian and Black on his application to the college that he was going to. So here is where we really get into the meat. For most students, a 2140 SAT score, roughly in the 94th to 96th percentile nationally, would be a ticket to top tier universities. But for Columbia, it fell short. Mamdani's mother's Indian, his father is Ugandan Indian. Ugandan Indian. So that put him in the highest scoring demographic pool in admissions because of the mainly Asian heritage and ancestry. According to Rufo, his score was below, and this is the person, the conservative who looked into, reporter or journalist who looked into his background. His score was below the Asian median, but likely above the Black median, raising uncomfortable questions about why he marked Black on his form. In the ruthless casino of Ivy League admissions, every identity box is a chip. And Mamdani seemed to know exactly where to place his bet. So apparently that score wasn't even his first attempt. His initial score was a 1650 out of 2400. So that would have excluded him from almost every major university in the country. Mind you, he was also pursuing a dream in hip hop during his high school years and not really focused on college. So, I mean, he has been completely immersed in our Black culture for the longest. It reminds me a lot of that guy, trying to remember his name. I feel like it started with an M, like Mahmoud or something like that. I forget what his name is, but he's this Indian guy who was basically an influencer online. He was making a lot of videos about Black culture and talking about Black issues. And, he's this like, kind of gay seeming, Indian guy, or I'll say Arab guy, who was later discovered to have anti-Black fantasies and ideologies, and going as far as treating his sexual partners like slaves and getting off on that kind of stuff. And this reminds me a lot of that. Obviously he's not, Zohran has not, to my knowledge, been exposed for things like that. But the using of Black culture to get you where you need to go, like using Black culture like the guy did, who I'm describing, I forget his name, to propel you to new heights and things like that. You know, doing this while also doing things that negatively affect the Black community. Very similar story. His stage name was Mr. Cardamom when he was rapping. And what did he talk about? He talked about political consciousness, and combined that, intertwined that with South Asian cultural references. Talking about gentrification, landlords, imperialism, immigrant struggles in New York City. But you see, he combined every single aspect of his story, of his heritage, except the Blackness. The only thing that was Black about it is the rapping part. So he used rap in order to make a better way in life for every other community except the community that created rap. You see how that goes? I'm not trying to make this man out to be the worst person in the world or whatever, or super anti-Black or racist. I'm just pointing out the very clear contradictions with him making the selection and getting the benefits that it garnered him, you know, that it achieved for him. He freestyled about identity. Really funny. So Columbia apparently still rejected him, even though his father was actually working on their faculty staff. So this is an inside job. I want you all to know. This is an inside job. He tried to get into Columbia by falsifying his documentation, and his father worked there. The journalist who looked into this background and the story of Zohran gives two reasons that this could have happened: their brutal cutoff at the university with an acceptance rate of under 10%, and then just the fact that the possibility that his gambit backfired. Um, his application did list his parents: Professor Mahmoud Mamdani, acclaimed filmmaker Mira Nair, or Nair, neither of whom is Black. Their address in an exclusive Manhattan neighborhood underprivileged narrative, and even cursory research by an admissions officer revealed that he was neither Black nor disadvantaged. Just another elite kid trying to game the system. So after this, they get into his whole, political rise and all this other stuff, and it's just funny, It's just like, I mean, we have people out here who are literally able to uh, use the benefits of that are achieved for Black people against us and instead of us. And we have pointed this out for so long, but nobody wants to acknowledge it because they don't want to help us. They don't want us to get any further. And they're more content with someone like him making it than someone like us. So they would rather say that this guy is black. And they would rather it mean something for this guy to be black. But when we're talking about our blackness, it doesn't matter. It's old news. What is that supposed to mean? DEI. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to point this out real quick because this is possibly, I believe, the next mayor of New York. And when you're able to make decisions on that level and you're known as a successful politician and you play games with blackness and with race so that you could come up even more than you already were privileged to come up, what a shame. It just really tells me that we have a lot of things to look forward to when it comes to our rights and lack thereof in the future. Because, I mean, I don't trust that this guy has any good vibes for Black America.